Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about the setup of the rower and talk a little bit about foot position and also the damper setting. So the first thing I want to talk about is understanding how to set up the foot position on the rower. If you have the setting too high, it's going to shorten the stroke, so it's going to make the stroke inefficient. If we also have the setting too low, we're also going to experience the same thing where we're going to effectively impact the power that you can generate in your rowing stroke. So Luke is going to set this up at the moment. So this is too high, and this is what we see common in this position, okay? So it's going to impact the rowing stroke, it's going to shorten you out just a little bit. And then if we go the other way, well, we set it a little bit too low, so now it's right down as far as it can possibly go. Okay, in this position it's going to also affect the power, so now we can come all the way in. So we've got to try and find the right sort of setting, and it's one of those things where you've got to play with it a little bit to figure it out. But just as a default, or a good sort of base setting to start on, is on the pad that we've got here. Virtually the knuckle of the big toe is set on the pad, and the toe is over the top of the pad in this position, okay? So now as Luke comes back into his catch position here, he's got the ability to generate good power out of that position as he starts to push, okay? And he's not going in too deep there, okay? So then if he does a few strokes, so just do a couple of strokes in this position, okay? Okay, you can see from his catch position, the legs are doing the work. So as he drives out of there, he manages to maintain the same back angle there and generate the power that he needs. Okay, relax a little bit. So now this is something else we want to sort of think about a little bit. If you start to see an athlete that gets into that bottom position, and the first movement is actually the change in the torso angle, then you're going to be able to have to put the foot setting down a little bit more. Yeah? So if Luke comes back and does it again, demonstrate where you lean with your back a little bit.
Okay.
So as he comes into the catch, the back position change. So the torso changing here. He's initiating more of the movement with his back muscles than he is with his legs. Okay, and that's not something we want to see. So the efficiency of the row is to be able to push with the legs first and maintain that tight torso position. And the correction with that was to actually bring the foot setting down just a little bit. Okay. So it'll start to improve that position as we come out of there. So that's the basics on the foot position. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the damper setting. So we've got a few options here. We can obviously go down to 1 or we can go up to 10. Now often we see a lot of athletes setting this to 10. But the way we're going to try and think about this, a couple of examples we're going to give. Think about 1 is rowing against the stream. So if the current is busy flowing this way and you stick the oar in, the current's going to help with the oar, so it's going to move quite easily, okay? Whereas if you're rowing with the stream, when you put it in, you're going to have to pull a lot harder, okay? So against the stream is number 1, and with the stream is actually number 10. It's a little bit reverse of what you'd think, but just contemplate the rower going into the current of the water. Another way to look at this is if we have it on number 1, imagine you're doing repetitions of squat jumps with just your body weight, okay? So it's nice and easy, we can continue to do those jumps. And then if we put it at number 10, imagine you've got a barbell on your back and it's loaded with like 30% of your body weight and we're starting to do barbell squat jumps. So it's a lot harder and you're not going to do obviously as many repetitions when you start doing loaded squat jumps, okay? So a good sort of setting that we talked about for beginners and where to sort of start is number 5. So it's in the middle range there. And it's a good sort of mix of a little bit of endurance and a little bit of power, okay? And then really you've got to assess it and sort of understand your rowing interval and what you're trying to train for, and if you're trying to generate more sort of endurance and stamina, or whether you're trying to generate more sort of strength and power in this position. So maybe if you're rowing a shorter distance, we would set it a little bit higher, okay? And again, depending on your body weight and the power that you can generate there, which sort of number you'd set that on. So again, go back to the squat jumps with the barbell on your back and think about, okay, if I'm going to row 100 meters, maybe that's like 10 squat jumps with the barbell. But if I'm going to row a 5K, now I'm going to do 500 squat jumps. Would you prefer to do that as your body weight or with a barbell on your back? So the muscles are going to fatigue quite quickly. You want to be doing repetitions that are nice and light and easy. So again, you'd probably bring the damper setting back down to 5. Or if you're quite a light person, okay, you might even take the damper setting down just a little bit more, okay? The only other thing we're going to talk about in terms of the rower is obviously maintenance of the rower. So if the rower is well looked after, it's going to definitely help your rowing technique. So So we talk about keeping the shaft clean, okay? This should be nice and clean at all times. We talk about taking apart the blower and just cleaning it out, okay? So making sure we undo all the screws there and giving it a good clean. It's definitely going to impact the rower in terms of your rowing efficiency. So something to think about, take care of the equipment as much as you can.